I have never, ever seen that before. Well, for the last few years, there's been a trail that's been slowly put in, I think, by mountain bikers. And I don't know how official it is, but I think it's finally connected. And I'm scouting out the only section that I've never been on that will connect Snow King and what I'm doing today with home. So I can start right across from home, hit the trails there, and do one big loop all the way to Snow King and back down the valley and around. And I'm not quite sure how many miles, but I'm guessing it's going to be about probably almost 20. So I'm going to give it a whirl here in the next couple weeks, but I just wanted to scout out the last section, and I'm super excited. But what I want to tackle today is, let me get comfortable here. So for my personal coaching athletes, I've always infused mindset training for them, whether they realize it or not, but it's really kind of training the brain, similarly to how we train the body. And that's what we'll get into today. But I've always kind of played around with the idea that our emotions, or maybe more specifically, our internal chatter that we have with our mind, mainly negative chatter, is just signals and not commands. But most athletes, most people in general, see that as a command. And if we start to see that they're just signals for us to adjust and to improve our performance, because if they're negative thoughts and we see them as commands, what happens is that we start to believe it. All those commands, all that becomes reality. If we switch our mindset to they're just signals, then we have the chance and the opportunity to change those thoughts up and create a different type of reality. And I'll give two examples. Yesterday, I mentioned in my Strava account, my niece has been here for 3 weeks training for her Division I lacrosse season and doing an internship. And yesterday we went to Snow King and did very, very, very steep hill repeats. These are 25 to 30% grade and about 45 seconds in length. And this was the second time we've done this. We did 8 of them. The first time we did 6. In that first episode, I noticed, my niece is 21, so kind of a young mind. And I've noticed that she would always kind of go to the negative, and everything was really, really hard from a mindset standpoint in doing these 6 intervals that first time. So for the second interval day, where we were upping it by 2, going to 8, I purposefully tried to use some verbiage and communication to her in a way that she's used to thinking and in a way that she's used to being competitive. So what I did, since we're doing 8, I broke them up in halves and then in quarters. And she's used to thinking that way in her games. So we did the first 2. All right, started the second quarter. She started to get into it. Okay, we got 4 done. Hey, it's halftime. Let's refocus. Hey, we've got 2 quarters left. Third period starts. Third quarter starts. Woohoo! Get those 6 out of the way. Now, hey, fourth quarter. Let's go. We got 2 left. Nice. We finished really strong, much differently than how we finished that first session when there was only 6. So she didn't realize I was doing this, but just by kind of putting her in a situation that she's familiar with, that it's positive, that's competitive, she completely changed her demeanor. And she didn't, hopefully through time, she can start catching herself doing this and making it more on her terms rather than a coach's terms. But the idea is that we can start to catch our thoughts and have this awareness that what I call athleticism is awareness. Everything we do as an athlete comes from awareness, whether it's positive or negative. And that first session was a little more on the negative side, what she's used to kind of repetitionally telling her brain to every workout has to be hard. Every workout can't be fun. That was her demeanor. So we changed that up. Okay. Today, I'm out for my workout on my app, called for a nice, easy 90-minute effort. And my mindset training for today is all about patience. And I'm working on part of my mantra is being patient. And so I knew I've got 90 minutes, nice and easy. I wanted to challenge myself to do Farron's climb, which is about 1,500 feet of climbing. I wanted to see if I could do it as easy as possible and in zone 2, therefore, in a way, training my patience. So every step had to be patient. I had to work on my cadence. If I got too impatient, my heart rate would go up a little bit, and that was my awareness to bring it back down and to really be patient with every step. So I put myself in this competitive mindset that would help me be patient. And the competitive part of it was for myself to see how easy I could make this climb. And then I might compare it with other data that I have on this climb. But again, the idea was that to create this patience and awareness, I put myself in a situation where I could be competitive with myself. And the competitive was seeing how easy I could make this climb. And I did it. I did it all in zone 2. I had a couple spikes where it went up about 5 beats, but again, that was the signal, right? Okay, the signal to slow down and making a decision to do that. And through time, this awareness and this repetition, we start getting better and better with our thoughts and adjusting. And it's that repetition that we have of the awareness and what we're thinking that's no different than the repetition that's key physically to training and improving performance. So the repetition of how we train the body physically is really no different than the repetition that we can use internally or with our mindset to catch our thinking and to alter our thinking in a positive way to improve our performance. Okay, so play around with that. Again, it's not just a decision. See it as a proper way of starting to train your mind, train your mindset. Just like doing hill repeats yesterday for us was about training repetition and training force. Having this repetition and this awareness of what we're telling our minds through time creates that same gains and repetition in a positive way that we train our body physically. Okay, but it takes practice, repetition, reframing your thinking. Okay, so give that a try. Throw down some comments. This is a good subject. Okay, not too many people really kind of think about this or really give it big focus that can really alter and create possibilities that just are endless. Then that capacity of what we are able to do through repetition of changing our mindset is tremendous. Okay, so all right, gonna head back down Snow King, over and out from the new trail. I don't even know if it has a name yet, but I'm in the backyard literally, and headed over to Snow King, and over and out from Born to Run World. See you guys.